Chapter 11, Close Calls. First comes the elevator test. We get on at the third floor of the library with two other people, and then four more students with enormous backpacks pile in at the second floor. It could get very bad. People crushing my feet, shoving me into the walls, discovering the alien in their midst, screaming, freaking out. But none of that happens. Everyone jams onto the far side of the elevator, and no one says a word. And I can see it's because this girl's long white cane is like a magic wand. She holds it in front of her, almost vertical, to take up less room. Her fingers are on it like it's a long pencil, and it comes up almost to her nose. No one wants to bump into the blind girl. So her cane is why I pass the elevator test so easily. Plus, it's a short ride to the first floor. So we get past security, and there's Walt. He sees the girl and says, "Hey, Alicia, how's it going?" She smiles and says, "Fine, see you tomorrow." We don't slow down, and now I know her name, Alicia. I feel awkward. I don't know if I should offer to guide her or what. She holds her cane out ahead of her, sweeping it back and forth like radar. When it touches the door, she stops. Softly I say, "I'll get that," and she waits while I push it open, and then she's off again, out and down the steps to the pavement. I know she must have traveled this route a lot of times, but the way she steps ahead is still pretty amazing. So I say, "You get around by yourself really well." She gives me a thin smile and says, "Yeah, and if I work extra hard for another 10 years or so, I'll be able to go places about as easily as your average 6-year-old on crutches. So that's something to look forward to, right?" Then her smile warms up. Oops, more sarcasm. We're facing the street in front of the library entrance. She stops and brings the cane straight up in front of her. She points west and says, "I live about 4 blocks that way. How about you?" And she smiles. I'm not 100% sure, but I think she'd like to keep talking. I start carefully. "I live south and east of here, but I could take a little detour. 4 blocks isn't so far." Which isn't exactly true. It's at least 5 degrees colder now, and the breeze has shifted. It's coming in off the lake. I'm cold, but I have shifted back to Greek warrior mode. What's a little discomfort to one such as I? She says, "That's great." Then she puts out her right hand toward me. "Here, let me hold on to your elbow. That way we can walk closer to your speed instead of mine. You can be my eyes for a few blocks, okay?" Okay. No, it's not okay. You see, I have got no clothes on, and you're a girl who wants to hold my arm and go for a stroll along 57th Street. But I can't say that. If I say no thanks, then it'll be like I think she's a leper or something, and it'll hurt her feelings, which seems easy to do. So I take half a step closer, and I stick out my elbow and bring it to her hand, which is not so easy when you can't see your own arm. She takes hold lightly, and we start walking west. I have to shorten my stride because I'm taller. I'd like to just walk along and talk with her, but there are other people on the sidewalks. Too much else to deal with. But when we get away from the library, there are fewer people, and there's also traffic noise, so I'm not afraid to talk. Plus, she's right about people avoiding her. No one walks near her. No one even looks at her for more than a second. "So I heard Walt call you Alicia back there. Nice name." She says, "Thanks. What's yours?" Bobby Phillips." I stink at small talk. We walk along, just walking, and that's fine because a guy and a girl come up right behind us, and then they split and go past on either side of us when we're almost to Ellis Avenue. The guy is on my side, and I'm ready to dodge him if he starts to plow into my space. But he sees Alicia's white cane and makes a wide arc to my right, saved again by the magic wand. Then I say, "So if you're doing this walk alone, you're listening to the traffic, right? To tell when the lights have changed?" She nods. "Yeah, and the sounds let me know how close I'm getting to the corner, too. That helps if you have to be ready for a step down. But I know this route really well, and all the curbs have wheelchair cuts. Those are good for me, too."